Welcome back to Forces Education, this is Ed. Today, we're going to be talking about Phunware, going with the ticker PHUN. This video, we're going to dive towards due diligence, technical analysis, and what we can find about this one, and what we think is going to happen in the next few days or so. So first off, who they are. Phunware is the pioneer of multi-screen as a service, MaaS, the only fully integrated enterprise platform for mobile that enables brands to engage, manage, and monetize their anytime, anywhere users worldwide. So they have more than 1 trillion transactions per year, more than 15 billion unique devices reached, hundreds of millions of videos served, tens of millions of application downloads, thousands of brand applications launched, tested and scalable to 25 million concurrent users. So you're able to see their corporate timeline where they started off as a core technology development, and then hybrid SW and ad media placement business, and now as an AAS business. So you're able to see that transition where they're tapping on for customer highlights and financial events in general. And you're able to see that the MaaS enterprise platform for mobile really goes under these products. So the first products is analytics, audience monetization, content management, developer tools, location-based services, mobile engagements, blockchain, fund wallet, data sets, data exchange, targeted media, and audiences. Now, there's different solutions, including residencies, hospitality, healthcare, aviation, advocacy, media and entertainment, residential, retail, smart city, smart campus, and smart workplace. So how they work, you got the brands without mobile applications portfolio, they're industry app specific. Meanwhile, ones with an application profiles or portfolios, they have SDK and API products where it's able to do it yourself in terms of the programming interface. So SaaS deal structure, you have either basic, plus, or premium, and you're able to see in terms of the sales strategy, you got gross margins of around 70% for direct sales or indirect sales channels based on what the products or the things your services are you're selling. Now, in terms of the sample customers by industry, you got a bunch here in healthcare, for instance. You got Baptist Health, South Florida, Mount Sinai, Methodist, GBMC. In terms of media and entertainment, you got NBC, AMC, NFL, ESPN. Aviation, you got MIA, Toronto Pearson, Calgary International Airport. Smart cities, you got Intel, PwC. Hospitality, Atlantis, Norwegian Cruise Line. Retail and residential, you got Lowe's. You got a bunch of others like Kohl's, and you got a bunch of others like Jade Residences. Competitive landscape, they do have a few in there. So for instance, going from mobile development capabilities on the left to mobile developments platform, up outstanding developments on the bottom, in-house development, and you're able to see where their current gap or the current gap in business is somewhere between outsourced developments and mobile development platform. Up here, that's what they're doing, but also mobile development capabilities and in-house developments is a bit of a gap here in the chart, but I'm pretty sure that there are companies that fill that anyway. Now, in terms of Phunware itself, they're able to provide things like cloud agnostics that Google and Oracle and IBM and SAP doesn't. And you got outsourced developments. None of the other companies provide that. Industry-specific solutions, only Salesforce offers that other than them. And mobile strategy consulting, it's Oracle and Salesforce are the only ones that do offer that. Now, the MaaS growth strategy starts with lower IT and human capital cost, industry-tailored mobile application experiences, and rapid, reliable developments on launch, and then integration and cloud flexibility later on. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. Now, in terms of target operating model, 30% or higher for year-over-year net revenue growth is their target, around 75% of non-GAAP adjusted gross margins, and positive non-GAAP adjusted EBITDA. Now, they're not really there yet, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Now, they also put a chart. What's with your chart? So the public float was around 144,000 shares, around 0.3%. And then they had cashless warrants exercised, and that was the massive drop. S1 effective, lockup expires, and they're showing you how they went from somewhat like, I believe, $200 or $320 all the way down to around 173. So yeah, they try to explain that. It doesn't really look as good, but we're going to discuss this a little bit further in technical analysis. Now, one of their recent acquisitions here is Phunware closes acquisition of high-performance computer provider Light Technology. Now, for these ones, they bought privately held Light Technology Incorporations, and this is the company, Light Gaming PCs. And what they have here is they have shipping or fast shipping options for pre-built PCs, gaming PCs. And you also have DIY picks or kits for you to make. I'm pretty sure you're able to change as well some of these in terms of GPUs or CPUs or even just a RAM. So it's a bit of customizable options here. Now, in terms of other news as well that these guys have, for instance, this one announcing partnership with Copper Lighting Solutions to integrate MAS with Trellix. So this one here is for smart spaces applications for commercial buildings, and they basically have an agreement with them to partner with Signify. So basically improving commercial building efficiency and occupying experience is top priority for our customers. We help solve these problems by providing proficient data for our lighting systems to lead mobile software providers like Phunware, who in turn provides actionable insights. Now, this was from the Vice President of Indoor Lighting and Connected Systems for Copper Light Solutions. And industry collaboration is a core tenet of our vision to solve our customers' highest value challenges by leveraging extraordinary power of intelligent lighting. We look forward to advancing our customers' experience together with Phunware. Now, there's other news as well, such as, for instance, them holding a fireside chat with their CEO, building new headlines and websites for mobile applications portfolio, intermarkets, and them having the new PHUN wallet with 10 million PHUN token sweepstakes. Now, in terms, we kind of covered already who they are, the presentation, everything. A quick thing, price over sales and price over books are 80.72 and 60.67 respectively. This is definitely momentum play, not a fundamentals play. It's really pushing on momentum. Their total assets currently are $34 million. So that's for quarter 2 2021, lower than quarter 1 2021, but the highest ever since then. And in terms of total liability, you're able to see that they really cut down their total liability. It's one of the lowest you've seen it. Total debt is one of the lowest, and it could be because of the cashless warrants and all that stuff, but nonetheless, total liability looks good. In terms of operating income, their operating income has gone to a massive loss, starting off with 147,000, 862,000, 7.2 million, 12.3 million loss, and 19.7 million loss. So it's continuously increasing as we go forward. Similarly, the net income went from 90,000 to 22 million in loss between 2016 and 2020. So that's yearly. Now, if you were to go towards quarterly, you're able to see that things are improving just a tad. So operating income, this one here, we went from 3 million loss to 8.5 to 4.2 to 9.3 to 7.2. In terms of net income, you went from 3.5, 8.6, 6.1, 12.6, and 8.9 million. So losses are somewhat not consistent, but overall it's a little bit choppy. Now, before moving on forward, if you would like to see more contents like this, please make sure to click the subscribe button on the bottom right corner and leave notifications on for this channel. It helps my channel a lot. A lot of you amazing folks watch my videos and never do. Also, don't forget to smash the like button if you actually enjoyed this video. You can join our Discord if you would like to chat randomly with us in the chat rooms down in the description below. Now, in terms of institutional buyers, this one has some backing. CVI Investments has around 5%. You got Altum Capital Management 5.4 and Arton Capital 5.81. Now the Battle Financial Consulting's here, that's the last activity on the 12th of October and the only activity on October. It doesn't really show you anything other than them buying 588 shares at 170 per share. And before then, you do have the 17th of September as the last change. Virtual Capital, 100% liquidated their entire position. And the Bank of America Core Index liquidated this position by 94.75%. Insiders, we don't see much going on as well. In the last 90 days, you see one sale happening here from a director, Silanthos George. They sold around 20,000 of their stock at almost $1 per share. But they only sold a small portion. As you get to see, their majority of their shares are still there, around 132,000 shares. Now, short to interest, we're able to see they only have 0.0 days or 0.02 days to cover. Around more than half of the entire massive volume we received is going towards the short selling side. Short shares availability are only 10,000 shares at a high short borrow fee rate of around 57.14%, and you're able to see that a massive chunk of yesterday's 238 almost million shares being traded on the dark pool short volume. That was around 127 million going towards the short selling side. So that's massive. Now let's move on towards technical analysis and see and anticipate what's going to happen next. So for technical analysis, I'm going to do this to be a little bit shorter term than actually longer term. It's mainly going to be for the next few days just because of the massive movement we're seeing. So for this one, we're going more of an hour, 30-minute scale, that kind of thing. So first off, you're able to see that the moving averages are looking incredibly bullish. 10 SMA being above 30 MA, but they're very close to each other. Currently, it's between the trading action zone where most positive reversals occur, and you got the 50 SMA being above the 200 SMA, another bullish indicator. Currently as well, the willing percent R is shown as over sold, meaning that there's a lot more selling activity than buying later on in the day after this massive ticker at the $24, suggesting that indeed the short selling has been really high into this one, and the short volumes really took at least 50%, and there's a lot more selling as well, with people who bought probably around $1 and try to capture this massive move. In terms of the MACD, we're able to see that it's curving a little bit back upwards, suggesting we might actually get a further push on into Monday or Tuesday. It seems that momentum, even though when negative, is trying to scratch back to the surface to zero and try to test that reversal. In terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both from the massive pullback are suggesting to look down for the next support. That might be very critical depending on where you're at. Similarly, even on the 1 hour perspective, it is really still going downwards, still saying that be careful where the support is because it can easily drop to there. Now, in terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, that was somewhat of alarming information. But in terms of the longer bands, in the moving averages, you might not be able to see it. Let me just go on for a 1 hour perspective. And it's really trying to go up forward. It's more of a parabolic kind of push, and that's a good thing on its own. In terms of Fibonacci retracements, this kind of gives you a key supports and resistances. You're able to see on the resistance, there's 968, 1242, 1516, and 1906. The supports, there's 629. That's a critical support. That's the one that the stochastic fast and slow are warning you on. But if we were just to go on price lines, we're able to see that there is currently a support somewhere around the 660, and then the 624, and then the 603, going downwards to the 524, 466, going down to the 301, and then down to closer to the 218, and then down to the 156 and 115. In terms of resistances, we're able to see a resistance at the $7, then $7.55, and then $7.89, $8.41, and then up to $8.96, going upwards to around $9.85 to $10.16, and then $10.88, and then upwards probably all the way to $24. There's not much resistance from that point on. Now, even if we go like 15 minutes, we might be able to highlight a couple more. So probably around the 1404 and then upward to 1857 and 2404. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you think is going to happen here? This is a high stake game. Basically, there is a very strong indication that perhaps Monday or Tuesday, you might get another push towards this one. What's the price point? It's not really clear on how far it can go, but it's definitely looking promising in general in terms of all the right things in place for another push. But it can easily drop downwards to oblivion, back to $3 or $2. So you got to be very careful when you're playing this. Momentum is key and volume is key. This is not a long-term play at this point. It's more of a momentum. As you get to see the fundamentals, all the indications turn to momentum play. What do you think is going to happen here? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.